Hey guys, welcome to Run, Hike,
Survive.
Survive. She remembered the name of our new channel. In this video, we're going to talk about what?
Things we learned from running
3 marathons in how long?
in 4 weeks.
In 4 weeks or a month. Things we learned from running 3 marathons, the equivalent of 3
Or a
marathons.
little more.
Yeah, in a month. Before we get into that topic, if you guys have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you have any video topic ideas, please let us know. We'd like to hear it. So I'm Steve. This is my wife Fiona. I'm just a well-tanned Scottish man, and she's a pale Scottish woman. So anyway, we took up ultra running in the last year, and last year we ran our first marathon in Cacapon, which she always says Capapon or Cacapon or something. But this year we kind of amplified our game a little bit, right?
Yes.
So we returned to Cacapon early July 6th.
Yeah.
And then the week after that I said, hey, baby, hey, darling, you want to do a 50K the week after that? And you said, okay, sounds like a great idea, great way to die. So we did a 50K after that, and then 2 weeks later, just this past weekend, we ran another one.
I was when he said, do you want to do 50Ks on Saturday?
Yeah, so we're going to explain the madness. Basically, we had she completed a 50K, her first attempt at Cacapon, which was our first run. But she got really, really sick. But she managed to complete it. She's a superhuman. I can vouch for her. But I only got like 20 miles, and it was brutally hot, and my big, ugly tank just kind of, boom, went zero. I couldn't finish it. Didn't have time. So the week after that, we attempted another 50K at our home course at Caesar Creek Lake, or State Park. And the race was actually 55K rather than 50K. It was, for whatever reason, wasn't mapped as 50K, and we ran out of time to run the final loop, which was really long.
Because it would have been dark when we returned, and we couldn't do it in the dark. The park would have been closed.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, after that I was a little bit frustrated because we ran 24K that day. And we were a little bit frustrated because we had it in us to finish the 50K in the amount of time. But then, because we got frustrated, we decided 2 weeks later to make another 50K attempt, and that was this weekend. And we both hit it.
Yes, together.
Yes. And it was a great experience. So we ran the equivalent of 3 marathons in 4 weekends. I ran 75 miles, which was just shy of 3 marathons. And you ran a 50K, a 50K, and about, a 38K. So she ran a lot more. Anyway, that all this rambling, that's what we did. What did we learn? Tell me something you learned from running 3 marathons in a month.
How not to vomit.
How not to vomit. She learned how do you not vomit?
Well, I stop, rest, make sure my fluid is actually absorbed into my body and not pooling in my stomach. And I eat and I slow down.
Well, yeah, slowing down is a big part of it.
Yeah.
And we learned to pace ourselves, to rest, to slow down, and not to run for 12 hours like it was a speed race. So that's one of the big things we learned. One of the things I learned was that, and I think this is the most important thing, because a lot of times getting into running or long distance running, you hear it's going to take you 6 months or whatever to recover from a marathon. And I'm not discounting, any of the physiological reality or anything, but how we feel after running Cacapon, I was like, I could do this next weekend, and I did. I've learned that my body was capable of so much more than I thought. And really, I feel, I don't know how you feel, usually after 5 days, I'm ready to go again.
I think we adapted a lot better than the first time we did it, like last year. And yeah, I felt fine when we had to come around to do it again. And if the night wasn't going to set in, we would have done it.
Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a smart idea to run marathons every weekend, because surely it's not. And surely you're going to pick up overuse injuries, and, we're not that foolish. But By doing what we did, I just learned I'm capable of so much more. So it just kind of motivated me in that way. Anything else you learned from running 3 marathons in 4 weeks?
I had something.
She had something, but she completely.
I forgot. Well, I did get a little bit of inflammation this weekend on my knees, and I think that was because of doing so much.
So much over a month's period of
In
time?
a month period. Whereas when I did the first 2 runs, I had nothing. Whereas this weekend, it kind of took its toll on me, and I thought, okay, I better, just do normal training for a while.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that we learned is like planning doesn't mean crap in ultra running or endurance running, and we're certainly not we're not we're just newbies, we're babies in this whole thing. But we learned that no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you train, no matter how smartly you train, all hell is going to break loose on race day. Like in Cacapon, like we ran our first marathon last year smooth, no issues at all.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, this ain't so bad. I think we can do this again, right?
Yeah.
And then we went out again a year later and did it, and you got sick, and I had cramps in my quads and hamstrings out of nowhere.
And I did plan. I drank the electrolytes, the bottles of water in between every station, and when I came back, I made sure I ate a certain amount of food, and I was planning, and I was keeping my times in check, and then it doesn't always work.
And the next weekend, I learned a couple things. I learned that you got to know the course going in. It really helps to know the course. Where we ran on our home course, but there was an east leg and a west leg, and we always run the east leg over and over and over again, but we never really run the west leg. Well, the west leg took 6.5 hours. And we're like, what?
And we didn't know where the end was, and it felt like it was forever.
Right. So I learned at that race that we really have to learn the course. I didn't have cramping at that course, but we evolved our rest periods, and we started to learn how to rest just to cool down a little bit, and that really helped, wouldn't you say?
I think so. I learned that from just the weekend before. I thought, okay, what do we need to change so then we can make it and not get sick or cramps? And we did. Every station we stopped, we sat. We actually sat.
And I would say the final thing that we learned about running 3 marathons, the equivalent of 3 marathons in 4 weeks. I know I keep repeating that, but I don't want to be so brash as to say I ran 3 marathons. I only ran 75 miles. Close, but not quite there. But one of the things I learned is that while you can't do that every weekend, there is a lot of benefit in running above 20 miles more frequently, because the more you do it, the more you see your blind spots and what you need to work on, like hydration, like food intake, like sometimes it's variables. Do I need knee sleeves? Do I not need knee sleeves? Do I need compression sleeves on my calves? That you know what I'm saying?
Even the weather affects you, the heat.
Right.
And if it's cooler or if it's raining, you feel so much better, obviously, if it's raining, and you just can cool down quicker, and you don't need, like when we were doing the Cedar Creek run, they squeeze the ice water over the back of your neck, and I never even thought of that before, like because we're so new to it, and that made a big difference.
So anything else you learned from this experience?
That I'm fully capable of running 50 Ks, and that's a point that I would like to work on being quicker when I do the shorter races and can go longer, because I know we have the potential to do it. And I'm learning more about my body and how it reacts to certain things and trying to tweak it so I don't fail or be sick.
There's a lot of information out there that, running is bad for your knees, but I actually feel the more I run, the better I feel. And I was concerned taking up ultra running as a bigger guy, I'm no little small snowflake, that it would beat the crap out of my body. But the more I do it, the better I feel. I'm surprised by that. But it's a balance. You have to be very, very careful not to overuse and abuse your body. Keep it sane. But I learned you're really capable of a lot much more than you expect. Just ease into it and let the time and the miles come to you.
And then you'll feel goddamn awesome.
She just swore.
Oh, I was gonna say otherwise.
She's Australian. She can't help herself. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Run, Hike, Survive. Again, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you have any topic ideas, we'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and
Survive when you hike.
yeah, that's a good idea. Try not to die.